Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Quagsire in the Open Great League. Quagsire now has access to the move Mud Bomb of course, and Mud Bomb also got buffed at the same time, which makes this Pokemon very decent as you're now going to have a bait move, as well as a move that still does a ton of damage. Here we're going to be able to bait the opponent's Galissapod, going to be able to go for one Stone Edge here right now. I expect them to have an Araquanid in the bag at this point of time, so I cannot really need to realign my Pokemon here as I am very weak against Araquanid in the bag with my Swampert there, and I was able to exactly do that, and I think my opponent realizes my team now as well, and they're going to decide now to go ahead and knock me out here. But I think now after this rock side, yeah, they didn't even overcharge there as well, like they just didn't even knock me out with that one, even though they could have. So they're going to lose this game there because they lost switch advantage against our Quagsire. So far so good, this team kind of struggles a little bit against the Walrein. I could just go straight for the Stone Edge, but I decided to bait here real quick. Turns out that was the worst decision that I have ever done, because now my opponent going to be able to go ahead and go for their move. They could have went for the Earthquake and just one-shot me here, but no, they're gonna go ahead and go for the bait first, as I can go ahead and go for my next Mud Bomb. Still doesn't knock them out. And I most likely should just shield this move up here, try to realign and do some damage. But no, they're gonna go ahead and go for the Earthquake right now. Great play by the opponent, but I basically screwed up this game here myself by going not for the actual charge moves there. And yeah, this is going to be a tough game to come back from. We're going to see the Ice Punch coming through from the opponent's Medicham here right now, as we're going to now get a 2 hour Sky Attack, and we're going to be able to get them low at least. Let's take a look what they're going to have in the back now. We're going to keep our shield, of course, for our Swampert, and it's going to be a Pelipper. So yeah, we got completely walled there at the end there anyway, so don't really think it really mattered too much, I guess. But yeah, definitely it's something that I cannot really come back from right now, but still. You might already realize that this video is uploaded a little bit earlier. It's also a little bit earlier for me, because we have the new season, we have so many move updates. I kind of want to do 3 videos today. So I'm just going to put them apart all 5 hours from each other, so we're going to try to have this out here pretty early. And you see me here go for the Earthquake just for the fun, because I know that this game is over and just wanted to troll a little bit. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video as well, please leave a like. I would appreciate it. Here, as you're going to encounter an Emolga. That's something that I really want to take a look at as well real quick. But yeah, here my opponent going to be able to use it against me, having acrobatics. They're going to be very beneficial for them, as it's going to do a ton of damage against now all the other Pokemon as well. We're going to see now the Quagsire coming in against us, which will also take some Mud Bombs. We have some energy lead here for sure, so we should be able to realign against the opponent here. But it's going to be a little bit difficult still, because they're gonna get to another charge move. I think I can still survive that. I don't really want to give up another shield here, and I'm going to be able to survive it, and I have to kind of make a play here right now. I have to kind of try to flip this matchup around, because if I just went for the Mud Bomb there, I basically still would have been like 1 shield down. The opponent would have been able to farm me down with the Emolga. There was not a lot that I can do here, so I had to go for my Swampert, trying to kind of flip the matchup all around a little bit, but it's going to be still very tough. As you're going to see a Whiscash coming in against us, we will be able to go ahead and go for a charge move here with our Swampert. Going to be able to go for the Hydro Cannon. We'll be able to now get the shield from the opponent, but they can knock me out at the same time. They're energy dry here right now, which is going to be very decent for me. I can go ahead and go for one charge move. If they want to shield, I can snipe them with my Quagsire, but they don't want to shield, so that's kind of okay for us. I can go ahead, go into my Quagsire now, go for the bait here, because I know that they're going to shield this move up, because I know that this Emolga going to be very decent against my Noctowl, but I can still go for another Mud Bomb, which is actually pretty important, as Emolga is not really the bulkiest Pokemon. They are now definitely in range for one Shadow Ball, which is going to be very nice for us, as they're gonna go for the discharge. I can go for the Shadow Ball, knock them out here. And this will be very nice if you're now going to encounter the Quagsire in the back that doesn't have enough energy to get to one Stone Edge. So this is going to be a very good game. Next opponent, we're going to see an Altaria in the lead. This is going to be a little bit awkward for us, because this Pokemon going to be very decent against this team as well. Honestly, the team itself worked well for me. Of course, like, we're still in the early stages of the season right now, so it does make sense that it still works well. But it has some difficulties, especially with something like a Walrein right now. It's kind of difficult to deal with it. I rather would go for, honestly, a Skarmory in the lead. Skarmory would help you out a little bit against Walrein, while definitely being the worst Pokemon compared to the Noctowl in general, though. but I think the steel typing itself just helps you out quite a bit there against those other ice type Pokemon. We're going to see the Quagsire coming in against us here. We have more energy than the opponent. We go straight for our Mud Bomb, as he now denied the fast move of the opponent as well, allowing us to get even more energy here as an advantage. We're going to be able to now go ahead, go for another Mud Bomb against the opponent here, trying to knock them out with that one, but they're still going to be able to survive. I'm going to be able to still survive their fast move as well here. It's going to be the Mud Bomb, and it's going to go down to me throwing the Mud Bomb and hopefully knocking them out. They're most likely going to let this move go through here. There's no real reason to shield, and we can swap out immediately. Turns out we have kinda the same team here. We have the exact same backline, while the opponent going to run, of course, the Altaria. We are going to run both Swampert here as well in the back with the Quagsire. They tried to catch the move, didn't work out against me. I'm able to CMP tie here against the Altaria as well. My Swampert always loses CMP ties, so that's why I really need them to try to swap out there and try to catch a move, because now I will be able to just go ahead, go for my Hydro Cannon and try to knock them out here with that one, and it does work out pretty well there. I would have lost otherwise, so that's a very good game. Next opponent, we're going to see a MEWeedle in the lead. A very fairly decent lead there. It's not the best lead actually, like while we are flying type against a fighting type Pokemon. MEWeedle is just so strong, plus Ice Punch is just doing so much damage, but luckily my opponent decides to swap on into their Registeel. I'm going to go ahead and shield up the move here because a Focus Blast does a ton of damage against us, and I kinda want to keep my Swampert healthy, especially against the MEWeedle as well, as it's going to have a pretty decent job against that one as well. We're going to see here the opponent shielding up the first bait by me, and now we can go straight for the Earthquake and gonna get the knockout against the opponent as well. Very nice for us, as we're now going to have the option to go for the Earthquake. Do they shield this move up, or do they let this move go through? They're going to shield this move up, sadly, as they have their own move stored here right now. It's going to be the Ice Punch. It doesn't knock me out, so I'm going to swap out into my Noctowl. I actually thought that this would be a Sky Attack, but it wasn't, so that was my own fault. I didn't want to go for the Shadow Ball, but it's still going to be fine for us because Shadow Ball does a little bit more damage compared to the Sky Attack, so it was not really wasted, but yeah, it wasn't what I wanted to go for. I just didn't know on which side my move was, to be fair. So yeah, we're now going to have here the Galarian Stunfisk, which definitely does not have the best play against Quagsire, as you're going to see here anyway. Earthquake coming through, there's not a lot that the opponent can do here right now. Gonna be able to go for the Mud Bomb here against the opponent, as it's going to easily knock them out there. MEWeedle comes in and MEWeedle goes down. Quagsire going to be able to finish up this match here pretty easily. Being so spammy with the Mud Bomb really helps this Pokemon out right now. Highly recommend you to build one for sure. Also the normal variant seemed to be very decent as well. So yeah, Quagsire is most likely the best upgrade, to be fair. Like honestly, this Pokemon is so much fun to play right now. It's going to be everywhere as well. It's just very strong. Wishcast is going to be a little bit tricky as well. Wishcast has the access to the move Blizzard, which is kind of forcing you to shield quite often because yeah, they could go for it. And I play this game. This is, by the way, the game that I play the worst I've ever seen. You're going to see this as well. I'm just going to be like completely ruthless with me. I thought I could farm them all the way down, but no, they're going to get to the Leaf Bait in time. Of course, I'm forced to shield right now, but they're going to have now the Wishcast, which still has a Mud Bomb stored. So while I have so much energy here, I can only get to one Mud Bomb, and then they're going to be able to go ahead and retaliate here. So this was a really bad play by me. Like, it's so bad. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the Swampert because we kind of have to get rid of the opponent's Wishcast, and I know that they're going to be close to a Blizzard right now. And they're going to go ahead, shield this move up, of course, which most likely going to bring them to a Blizzard here right now, which it does. I still survive with my Swampert actually, which is kind of funny, and I can still go for one Sky Attack. The opponent catches here, which is okay for us right now. But then again, they're going to have Fire Spin here, and I have to go for my charge move before they can get to the Overheat. And I, of course, CMP tie on the Overheat. And at this point of time, this game is over. And honestly, I just completely threw this game apart. Like, this was definitely by far the worst game I can remember I've ever played by me. Like, so many huge mistakes. It was wild, but I still want to keep it in there because we keep it real here. We're not going to only show like wins or anything like this. We're going to show also the completely horrible matchups that I play. But it's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, we're completely in the beginning of the season, but it's funny to see like how bad I played this match there. It's wild. But yeah, that was definitely a game that I should have won if I just didn't play completely completely garbage. But yeah, here now you're going to see the power of the Stone Edge of Quagsire. So you're going to be able to get a 2-shield advantage already that early into the game, which is amazing for us as we're going to have a Swampert in the back. And of course, Swampert going to enjoy that 2-shield advantage as Earthquake as well as Hydro Cannon doesn't even care which kind of Pokemon you face. Like, you're always going to do a ton of damage against them. Here we're going to encounter now the Noctowl against the Noctowl matchup. Thanks to the Mud Bomb, actually, I think I put them into 2 Sky Attack range, which is something that is kind of wild because Mud Bomb plus like Mud Shot shouldn't really do that much damage, but I think it did perfectly enough damage to put them into 2 Sky Attack range, so we should be able to now knock them out with another one coming in here, and we definitely do here, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we're going to be able to knock them out, can swap out now into our Swampert. They're going to stay in for a little bit and they're going to debuff us, of course. We have to shield this move up. You know already, Swampert is not the bulkiest Pokemon. And we're going to see a Pidgeot coming in. This is going to be an interesting one here, as Pidgeot going to now be able to take 2 Hydro Cannons thanks to the debuff of the Dugong here. So what we're going to have to do here right now, we're going to just go ahead and go for 2 of them, shield up the move, and we're going to farm down the Pidgeot. 3 times debuffed attack from us, so this is really not ideal. We have to swap out into our Noctowl so we can get rid of the debuffs. We can go for the Earthquake right now, and we just hope and pray that this is enough against the bulky Dugong. It is. Goodbye there. That was such a fun game. Honestly, it was mostly one of my favorite games that I played there. It was a lot of fun to nuke the opponent late game there. All the debuffs, farming down the Pidgeot with a Mud Shot is kind of wild. We're going to see here the Wishcase against us now. Very, very decent Pokemon in the lead right now. I really hate playing against Pokemon in the lead. Might be the best lead right now, I don't know, because like you're going to always threaten those flying type Pokemon with Blizzard, you're going to always be able to bait opponents with Mud Bomb, so like honestly I feel like this is one of the strongest leads right now in the game, but we maybe just make a complete cheap team or something with Wishcase eventually, if like later on maybe in the season or something, like the cheapest team possible with like Wishcase in it, because Wishcase doesn't need any legacy moves, it does only need 10k for the second charge move, might be something decent. But people are going to complain about me again having the Pokemon Altaria in there, which is 400 Kenny to evolve, which is usually what I bring in like the cheapest teams. Altaria is cheap though, because like you only really need the candies, so it's a very good Pokemon to use as like a beginner if you just need something good. Like if you have an Altaria, very strong Pokemon to use. Even though we are currently in an Ice type meta, I think Altaria still has quite a lot of play there anyway. So yeah, we're going to see here the opponent having the Noctowl against us. We can still get to another charge move here with our Swampert, allowing us to do a ton of damage against them. This was another CMP type, which is pretty decent for us, I feel like. Let's take a look what we can do. We have to try to swap out, but it doesn't work out. I just don't get there. And they're going to swap out themselves for whatever reason, allowing us now to go for an Earthquake here against the opponent. Going to be able to swap out as I still survive. Okay, I cannot swap out because the game lags, but they're going to just forfeit anyway because I can just farm them down with one fast move of my Noctowl here and win this game. Yeah, Toxapex is pretty bad lead for us, but we have 2 good ends in the bag, as you're going to see a Scrafty coming in. They go straight for the Power Punch here, which I don't really understand why, like at least build up to a foul play to threaten to knock me out with that bomb, but no, you're gonna go straight for it. And honestly, the Mud Bomb damage is insane. Like, why does Mud Bomb do half of the health of a bulky Scrafty? That is wild. I'm going to be able to shield up this charge move here against the opponent. It is a Power Punch, of course, I know, but I wouldn't have been able to survive it plus the extra counter. And now I'm going to be able to realign, which is really important because they have a Toxapex and we have still a ground type in the back. And this is going to be very, very good for us, as we're going to now see the opponent's Umbreon coming in here. We will be able to go ahead, go for some more Mud Bombs here. And we will be able to now go ahead, align our Noctowl against the opponent here, which is going to be better than against the Toxapex. And we can just take those charge moves, because we're way bulkier than our 2 Shadow Pokemon in the back. We will be able to just take those foul plays here pretty easily from the opponent's Umbreon, and we can just go ahead and go into our Swampert against the opponent's Toxapex now. And I'm not even going to go for the Earthquake, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight for the Hydro Cannon, because the fast move damage already, as you can see here, adds up. They do still have so many shields left that I'm not really caring too much about it. They're okay, they can let this move go through, I don't really care too much. We can still survive one charge move here for sure, like a Brian. does not do enough damage to really knock me out here either. And I can go for another charge move here. It's going to now get also not shielded. I can farm them all the way down. And now I can just go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon spam against the opponent's Umbreon. And at this point of time, this game is over. We're easily going to be able to win this game, especially as we still have some Sky Tech stored here as well. And we're just going to throw so much energy against the opponent until they finally go down here at this point of time, because they're like Hydro Cannon would just one-shot them at this point, but we can also just go for the Sky Attack here. And I think this also nearly does enough damage already. It does enough damage already. As Umbreon going to go down here. Very good game there for us. Next opponent, let's take a look at this one. We're going to see a Lowland Sandslash in the lead. We will be able to go ahead and go into our Quagsire. And Quagsire are going to have a great matchup here as well now. Ice Punch coming through, they're going to swap out into a Lickitung. At this point of time, I kind of have to do something interesting here, because Lickitung is a very decent matchup for my lead. I kind of want to get them low enough that I can farm them down with my lead. But what I have to do here is I have to try to build up to the Stone Edge so the opponent is forced to throw energy here. And now I'm basically commanding this game here as well, as I will be able to just go ahead, go into my Noctowl. I'm not going to throw any energy against this opponent. I'm just going to go ahead and farm them all the way down with Wing Attack. And as you're going to see here, I'm just going to take all the charge moves. I don't really care too much about those body slams, but I will be able to now just completely farm them down before they can get to another charge move. And I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, because incoming now going to be the Sandslash here again. And Sandslash does only really do damage with their charge move here with Ice Punch, so they are going to be very squishy as well, and Shadow Ball would do a ton of damage. And now we're gonna get walled again kinda with the Medicham in the back. Medicham always wins against Swampert, so at this point of time, it's looking not really that bright for us, but we will be able to go for one Hydro Cannon here, go for the CMP tie on the next one. This will allow us to now get the shield from the opponent. And we're gonna do the same with a Lickitung, basically, like with a Lickitung now on the Medicham. We're gonna just go ahead, farm them all the way down. We're going to have to shield once here, but at this point of time, I'm going to predict that they're going to swap out, because I should be able to again, and just go blind for the Shadow Ball, which works out really well here, as they can go ahead, go for the Shadow Ball, knock out the opponent's Sandslash now with one more Sky Attack, and this is going to be enough now to also farm down the opponent's Medicham and win us this game here. And it's going to be also the final game for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like. On the screen right now, you see the Sandslash review as well as the top teams for the Open Great League. So click those videos if you're interested in them, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.